I've updated my Upland Clipboard Manager, and I thought I would make a video for it. It's a pretty extreme change, extensive, whatever you want to call it. The little user interface is now black instead of white. It now has 5 slots instead of 3, and it now has some tabs across the top for favorites and items and compare. Compare used to be on the main screen, now it's on its own screen. Everything pretty much works the same way. It's just a little bit more complex than it used to be. If you click on a property, you'll see that it copies the address, and right now if you were to click on the card, most players know that you cannot copy the address that's there. Anything on this except for the name is you can't copy any of it. So that's what this does, and it always reads the address, the first line of the card, and then allows you to save that in the clipboard. And so just before I go any further, if you have never used an extension before and you don't know what they are, there's a web store, the Chrome web store. Google has a Chrome web store, and you can come here, and if you type in Upland, you'll find not all of the extensions that are for Upland, but all the extensions where people have labeled them Upland. And for me, the Clipboard Manager is third in the list at the moment, and if you click on this, you'll see that I'm the only user, so I'm pretty much talking to myself at this point. But if you decide to use it, you can this button will be add to whatever your browser is, and for me it's Brave, which is a Chrome-based browser. You have to be using a Chrome-based browser for this to actually work. So Edge or Chrome, obviously, or Brave. There's a few others, I think. So back to Upland. Like I said, the first one is all about the address, and the way that I use it is if you look here, I'll just open the UPX Land site, and I have a paid account through these guys, and I can do a few more things than the unpaid people can. But let's say, for example, I wanted to complete a collection, and the collection I wanted to complete, let's say it's in San Francisco, and it's the very first, well, let's go for Midtown Terrace. You can see that I have no properties in the Midtown Terrace, or none at all. But actually, to be honest, I don't have enough money to buy any at the moment. But the idea is that I would want to purchase 3 properties if I was going to complete this collection. So to do that, I would normally come to UPX Land, and I would search for the best properties to buy. And so I'm going to search through collections for I think it's called Midtown Terrace, and so there it is. I'm clicking that, and then I want to look for properties that are sale for UPX, and I want to sort them by sale price, and push the go button, and you'll see that there aren't that many that are available for sale, and the prices are outside of my price range. But if this, I'm just pretending that this is what I'm going to do. So I would always start with the cheapest ones first, and I only need 3. Like if you look in here, you'll see that I only need 3 properties. So again, what I would do every time in UPX Land, if you click on the address, you'll see that it actually copies it to the clipboard. But each time you click on one, it will copy the address and replace the address that's in the clipboard. If you look here, I'll just do this again. If you click on the address, you'll see that it copies it into the first slot of my manager. If you click on the next one, it copies it into the next line, and so on. So I've now copied 3 there, and they're all still there. And so what I would do is come back here, and now I want to find those addresses and buy them. And so if I push the P button, it's automatically going to open the search window and place that address in there for me. And it's the first one on the list, so I'm going to click that, and then Upland will take me directly to that address so that I can purchase it. And again, that's a figure of speech because I don't have enough UPX to buy anything at the moment. And there we go. So this is the one that it was looking for. 369 Delbrook Avenue, which is this one, which is found in here, and also here, which I got from the UPX site, a UPX land site. And so each one of these, I would click on the buy icon, buy it, and it would now be in my list. So I would do that with all three of these. And then you can see that people often place markers on their properties to let others who are doing treasure hunting and whatnot to know that this is the lowest send fee in this neighborhood. And the lowest send fee you can have in San Francisco is 25 UPX. So that is correct. If I go here, this guy's got his set fairly high, 50,000 UPX. And I would also set mine at 25. So I would like to place a, let's pretend I own this property. I would like to place a marker on my property. And the next thing I would normally do is go to the store, and I'm just going to put marker in here so you can see how that works. If, let's say, I saved up a bunch of different ones, like marker and target. And can't think of anything else at the moment that would say that, but so what I would do is go here under assets that I'm going to be searching for. I would click in here and then push the paste button, and now you can see the markers there, and I can choose map assets. One that I like is the dart marker, but we're down to very few of them and the price is rising. So if I were to choose something else, let's say this one, I could come here and go to this store and purchase them. I already have some markers that I haven't used though, so this is how I would do that. I would go back to my assets and I would look for map assets, scroll to the bottom of the list, and I would place one of these. Now I've just purchased 3 properties which are still there. I don't have to try and remember which ones were. I didn't have to write it down on a piece of paper. I didn't have to put it in Excel or anything like that. I just have them here still in the memory. So if I were to place this one, I could then click here and paste this. Now it's not going to find it because I don't actually own these 3 properties, so I'm pretending. But if I did own this property and I pasted the address in there, it would show me the address here, and I could then place the map asset on that property. But since I don't own it, I can't do that. So, but you get the gist anyways. So that's this, the address and the items. That's how you use those 2 things. The favorites are slightly different. They're similar but slightly different. Let's say I wanted to, again, I'll go to UPX land, and let's say I wanted to do a contract for sparklet staking. When you want to create a contract, you have to go to the UPX land property in the city that your block explorer is in. And let's say I was in the let's say I was in Vegas. So I would look for the one that's in Vegas, wherever it is. It shows a different city. There it is, Las Vegas. So if I go here, this is the UPX land dev shop for Las Vegas. And so if I want to create a contract, I have to send my block explorer to this, or to at least be within the discovery zone of this property. Now, if I were to click here and add this to, let's say I'm going to create a list, and I'm going to call it UPXland. Okay, and let's say I made a mistake in the spelling and I decided I want to call this number 1. And I can also delete it and start again. But if I place this address that is found here into this list, I now have this as a permanent favorite and for UPXLand. And so if I wanted to do another one, I'll go back to directory dev shops, and let's say I want one in I want the one in Washington as well, because I spend a lot of time there. I would then add this to the list. Now I've got 2 UPXLand places. Now let's say I want one for Uplytics. So I would type that in there. I now have a group called Uplytics, and there are several here, so let's do the one in Sydney. And again, it's showing me this, which is right there, so I just save that. Now I've got this in the list. And now I want to go do the one in Queens. And again, it's showing me the thing here. So I save that. Now I've got 2 Uplytics sites, and I've got 2 UPXLand sites, and I've got nothing in default, but I could put something else in the default section. As far as I can tell, I can continue groups until my eyeballs bleed, but this is pretty much a simple way of having more than a few things stacked up in your memory. And so the last thing is the compare button, and I've had a little bit of trouble with this, but I think it's working now. And if it doesn't work, like if you need to use it and it's not working, I found log out and log back in again seems to work. But Gemini can't tell me why it stops working. It's tried a lot of different things, and sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't. It might be an Upland thing, it might be a Windows thing, I don't know what it is. But what it should do is allow you to compare 2 properties. And at the basic level, it can only look at this card to determine the difference between the 2 properties. So in this case, I'm going to use this one as number 1. So I click on that and it pastes it in here. And number 2, I'm going to use, I'll just pick a different property somewhere else that's in the game. Use that one. Again, I'm saving that to number 2. And now if I were to press the compare properties, you can see that it's showing the 2 properties and what is the difference between them. And here it'll show the difference in, if it's red, this is the item 1. If this is better than this one, these will show up as red. The idea is that if you were to get somebody who offers you a swap, you would enter your property as the first item, and the players who wants to swap you as their property in the second item. And that way you can get a quick understanding as to, is your property better or worse than that player's property. This isn't all of the information that you would look at. This is just a quick way. Let's say the size, yours is like this one is quite a bit larger than this one, and the person wants to swap directly. Well, you would want to know why they want to sell me a small, or swap me a small property for my large property. And it might be because yours is in a collection or theirs is in a collection and yours isn't, and so it's more valuable. But at any rate, this is just a quick way of comparing 2 properties. And again, it can only look at the data that's in the card, it can't look at anything else, only what's here. And so like I said, if you want to use this and it's not working, try just logging out and logging back in. It usually solves the problem. So this is the update. It's some cosmetic stuff and some usefulness. It still behaves the same way it did before. If I trash that and then trash that, you'll see that they don't exist anymore. These are like, you could leave these in here permanently too if you wanted to, if you always go looking for markers or targets, or if there's a number you normally use. Anything can be entered in this one. It doesn't really matter. All these do is paste into the whatever window you have open at the time. So if you have this, let's say this window open, it's going to look there. If you have this window open, it's going to look there. It's whatever window is your cursor is in, that's where it looks. Whereas the addresses always switch over to, if I were to copy that and go back here, go to the assets page. If I paste this, it's automatically going to switch to the properties tab. So it'll only look into the properties, not into items. It's a little bit clever that way, but like I said, most of this is just to speed up gameplay a little bit. It's not meant to cheat. I don't think you could cheat with this. You'd have to try and find some way to do that, but it's meant to reduce the amount of clicking and pasting, the amount of memory work you have to do, the amount of hassle. So just to make your, ease of life in Upland a little better, or quality of life, whatever you want to call it. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's in the store. If you want to use it, that's fine. There's no charge. It just does what it does. I tend to update it every now and then. I think this may be the final update because I think it's working pretty good now, unless Upland does something that needs, more copy and paste. But for now, that's it. Thanks for watching.